In this video, I'm going to be covering something I never have before. That's going to be stun guns. Stick around. Welcome to another episode of Self-Defense Sunday. I hope you find this information resourceful. Let's get started. In this wild world we live in, you simply have to be prepared to protect yourself, because being able to run from everything and avoid everything is not always possible. It may be possible most of the times, but there's always those one-off situations, and we need to be prepared for those. I often make reference to the animal kingdom when it comes to self-defense. In the animal kingdom, you have predator and you have prey, and you have animals that defend themselves in different ways. Some claw, scratch, bite, and even shock. And much like the animal kingdom, there are a lot of different ways that we as people can defend ourselves against attackers. You may be one of those who are not comfortable using a firearm or an edged weapon or some kind of clubbing weapon, but maybe you might be interested in the ability to shock someone. Now, I have never been hit with a stun gun, and I don't want to be hit with a stun gun. I've been watching videos before I made this one on people getting hit with little handheld stun guns, and the response is always a solid pain reaction. You do have people out here in the world that are jacked up on all kinds of drugs that have a higher pain tolerance, but I would have a hard time believing these things would not be uncomfortable to the touch every time. A stun gun is a handheld device that you simply shock the person with. It doesn't shoot any tasers out. It's just a simple device that when you touch somebody with it, it will shock them. I want you to think back on a time where it may have been like during the winter, and you might have made sudden contact with somebody, maybe putting your hand on their shoulder or touching their arm, and pop, there was this little pop shock that went down, and you're like, hey, you shocked me. We've all done that before. And it didn't feel good. It was actually a sudden surge of discomfort that kind of made you jump back. Well, these things are a whole lot worse. In this video, I'm going to be showcasing a lot of different examples of stun guns available to us. Now, these were sent to me by Brass Knuckle Company UK. I have put on display some of their brass knuckles in the past, and I want to show you some of these stun guns because they come in all kinds of shapes and sizes. In fact, I'm going to be showing you 4 different types of stun guns, so make sure you stick around for all 4. Now, if you're interested in these stun guns, take time to consider what you'd be willing to carry each day and what you would be able to access in time. The thing about everyday carry protection items is there has to be an element of comfortable carry. Otherwise, we typically won't carry them. And when we carry them, we need to be able to access them easily. Now, this first one is one that I consider to be more common. We're going to take it out of the box right here. This is the 928 type self-defensive flashlight. So we're going to take this out, and here's what we've got. I've still got the charger hooked up to it, so let me take that out. So if you click this halfway up, you've got a light here. You know, it's a flashlight. You're walking along and you see somebody coming up on you pretty fast. You're like, hey buddy, stay right there. You're flashing a light in his face, trying to, divert him a little bit. But he insists on coming forward and putting his hands on you. So you just click this up one more time and hit this button, and this is what's going to happen. Now, as you can tell, the sound of this thing muffled my speakers. It was an overload. In other words, not only does this thing shock, but that sound is menacing. Sounds are important. Alarms, loud noises, those things are some of the underrated aspects of self-defense, is the element of noise when you're being attacked, apart from the act of defending yourself. Now, this comes with this carrier, a little sheath you can put on the side of your belt, and you can hook it and carry it with you. And it's not very heavy. This is not heavy. Now, it says this is made in the USA. I don't know about the others. This one has a made in the USA sticker on it. This is what comes to mind when I think about your standard stun gun. Now, you charge it with this little cord right here. It comes with this charger. This hooks into the bottom and this into the wall, and that is how this is charged. But it's got your flashlight and it's got your stun. Now, if I cut this on, it's going to muffle the sound. Now, we've got this next one here. It's got an on and off switch right here. As you can tell, it's in the on position, and you can just run this right through the finger. This is something you can keep down in the pocket. Doesn't take up a lot of space. The buttons back here, simply turn this thing on and give them a little jolt. Now, again, I'm not an expert on voltage, but this says the source voltage on this one is 3.6 VDC. Current greater than 2.0A. Some of you experts out there know what that's all about. The output pulse voltage is a greater than sign 200 kV. Hopefully that gives you an idea for those of you who may understand that. I just don't. All I know is when this comes on, I don't want you to touch me. Now, I don't know if this is supposed to be some kind of knuckle duster effect, but I don't know. I guess it could or it couldn't. It's not a very, very solid plastic material for punching somebody, but you know, you may be able to. Imagine punching them and shocking them at the same time. That's a pretty nasty combo. I mean, that's not adding insult to injury. That's adding injury to an insult. Now, this one charges like this. This hooks into a wall charger, and this looks like I call it a Samsung connector. So there you go. They've even got them as compact as something like this right here. This looks like a key fob. You've got your light right here with this button, and you've got your stun with the top button. Now, you do have to charge this first. It comes with a little C connector type charger. You want to talk about something light and easy. You don't even hardly feel this in the pocket. This is definitely a choice for the minimalist. Now, how about these right here? 4 knuckles. I mean, you can cut it halfway on and turn the flashlight on. Again, you can put the light in somebody's face, and if they don't like the light, then you can just go up one more notch and do this. Now, with this one, you leave it in the off position, and this red light will still turn the flashlight on. But when you click this up and you click this red button, you're going to light them up. And we got to talk about this knuckle setup here. This is designed to be held in the knuckles. It does give you something hard to strike with. Again, I don't know how well this material will do crashing against somebody's head if that's what you had to do. But there is something funny that comes to mind with regards to this. And before I get into that, I want to preface it by saying I'm not necessarily thinking that this is to be used as knuckle dusters. It could just be a solid way to maintain your stun gun. And I think deep down, that's what it really is, making it not so easy to take out of your hand. But let's have some fun anyway. Now, from what I gather, they're trying to give you some options with this one. One minute you're like, excuse me, sir, can I help you with anything? Okay. So then, you know, he's like, hey man, get that light out of my face, man. What are you doing? I'm just trying to talk to you. Well, then why are you getting so close, man? Chill, hey, chill. He keeps on getting close. Maybe you take this, bang, give him a little pop. You know, at this point, you done warned him. And he's getting one step closer to riding the lightning, if you know what I'm saying. And you know, you done flashed the light in his face. You've popped him with the knucks. Finally, he's left you no other option than to light him up like a Christmas tree. Now, I'm not telling you which order you should do any of these things. I'm just talking about the design of this. It comes equipped with, you know, a knuckle setup, a light, and the ability to shock this man. So whatever you choose to do in that situation is on you. And you can imagine too, being in tight, you know, being in a struggle situation and just laying this against him and letting it roll. It all comes down to this. It's better than being empty-handed. I gotta be straightforward. I like this as a self-defense option. I'm not comfortable with just anybody using a firearm. I'm not comfortable with just anybody using an edged weapon or some sort of club, as mentioned before. I'm not comfortable because you got to understand something about self-defense protective tools. They can be taken from you and used against you really quickly. Something like this has less implication than these other weapons being taken away. Not to mention, these give you the ability to have a nice firm grip and to continue shocking somebody into creating some potential distance for you to evade that situation. What are your thoughts on stun guns? Do you carry one? Is there one you like in particular? Have you ever used a stun gun? These are all things I want to know about in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Take care.